People who lost their job due to this crisis. What is your story? Yeah, I just got hired last week, but I think that my first workday isn't gonna happen. I'm a server. I haven't worked since the 14th, but was officially laid off on the 18th. Where I am, temporary layoff is only 60 days. If we are not back by then, we lose our jobs permanently. It couldn't have come at a worse time since we have new management and there's been some murmurs about getting new staff. I was about to lose my apartment, unrelated, but my landlord phoned me up to let me know that he is no longer making me leave and not to worry about April rent. He also gave me $150 to go buy groceries. He's a bro. I'm trying to get through to A, which is all online right now. But the site keeps crashing, so I'm unable to make a claim right now. I'm sitting in a meeting right now, waiting to get fired. The VP is running late. So that's cool. Edit. They gave us basic info but are talking to everyone individually. So who knows still. Edit 2. Laid off sad face. I was laid off from my 5-year graphic design job, working for a screen printing and promotional products company. About half of our business involves schools, sports, and events. Obviously none of that is happening currently. So our business has stagnated. They are going to try to operate with a skeleton crew for the next couple months. The hope is to bring everyone back eventually. But I'm not optimistic. I got a call congratulating me on getting a job 2 days before a hiring freeze went into place at the university I applied to. I never saw my contract. Nor do I have any work. Edit. Thank you for the gold. I wish it had been on a cheerier post. We're in this together and we'll get through it together. A step at a time. Look after one another. Be considerate. And be kind to yourselves. Here's hoping this blows over sooner rather than later. Just lost it about an hour ago. I'm a restaurant manager and they called me and told me to turn in my keys by the end of the day. I'm in quarantine and can't. They are sending me a UPS box so I can send in my keys and told me to file for unemployment. Never expected this to happen to me. I'm in shock. IDK what I'm going to do. Hey, thanks for the well wishes and advice. I live in NJ and I already filed last night. Everyone else in my shoes read these comments. On top of being really sick, it was a kick to the stomach, but we will get through it. If you are in the UK, the major supermarkets are on a recruitment drive with a fast turnaround of getting people in position. I know this isn't a story about losing a job, but hopefully this helps someone coming to this thread. I haven't been laid off. But I answer for the National Suicide Prevention Lifeline and we are having so many calls where someone is thinking about killing themselves because they were laid off. This virus is causing so much damage. And there's never enough resources. Construction. The whole construction site was laid off. And with the way things are going, the company owner thinks it'll be at least a year before they consider hiring me back. Started 3 months ago. And that's at least 50 other people affected. Just for this site. The company had several other sites that they laid off employees too. I'm just lucky I'm still living with my parents. And Dad works as online IT for the general public. So he's nice and busy. Edit. Sign everyone and their dog is asking. I'm in Canada. Alberta. The site I was on was shut down by the owner. Beyond that, IDK. And thanks to the bunch of you that offered to help, hire. I was kinda surprised at that. Not me. But my wife has been told that basically we'll call you if we need you. And they don't really need anyone tbh. She hasn't worked a minute since the 13th. And my sister was a bartender at an arcade. So she's totally fucked. She's been laid off with the promise of reinstatement when they reopen. I was laid off indefinitely from 2 different hourly paying line cooking jobs on Monday, approximately 50 hours combined per week. I helped clean out one of the restaurants Wednesday. We discarded a lot of stuff. I helped clean out all of the coolers and throw away a lot of prepped food that people couldn't take home. Employees were encouraged to take what they wanted, produce, dairy, meat, etc. The place is almost completely empty. It's surreal. My spouse was laid off indefinitely Wednesday. She manages a restaurant and is salaried with benefits, approximately 50 hours per week. She was told that management will not be paid until the place reopens. Our family currently has no work or income. We have a young child. These are very uncertain times. Edit. Update. We are healthy and staying happy. Lots of extra time to play with the kiddo winking face. We have food, water and other saved resources. We are exploring unemployment insurance and a couple of other options. Thanks for all of the love. This story could be the same for millions right now. Take care of your family and neighbors. Try to spend and shop local. We get past this together. My experience is pretty unique. In a nutshell, my wife and I live in New Zealand and had planned a 2-year working visa in Toronto. We were supposed to leave in April. So we had obviously already handed in our notices of resignation to our bosses. Long story short, Canada shut its borders and my boss has already hired my replacement. As a side note, they shut the borders on my birthday. I'm a substitute teacher. If you are aware that most schools are closing if they haven't already, then that should explain why all subs are now effectively unemployed. It's unlikely that schools will return during this situation. So yes, thousands of people are out of work just from that alone. Subs don't make salary. So any employee who is hourly or paid by day now needs to scramble. Edit. Because so many people are unsure whether they should file for unemployment or not and are in a similar situation, being a substitute or a different employee that was hourly or a position that was cut due to our current circumstances. Please do. You absolutely can and should file for unemployment. It may take some time with the influx of applications. But this situation is what that government service is for. I extend my best wishes to everyone and their friends and families. I hope you all stay healthy and hold on to hope. Be smart and safe. I worked at Hyatt. I was hired as an intern fresh out of college for a year. Most of Hyatt's interns were actually internationals from Europe. Hyatt paid us minimum wage, which is crazy once you learn how expensive NYC is. 2 months ago they recently hired a guy from the Netherlands, and just 2 weeks ago another girl also from the Netherlands have just moved to NYC for this internship and had moved to her apartment just last week. 2 days ago HR called us for a meeting and said effective Monday we were no longer employed by Hyatt. They refused to pay us any of our sick or personal days, which I had 7 days worth. For the interns that have recently moved to NYC, HR basically said you're on your own, not our problem, nothing we can do to help. Sol. Being laid off is one thing, but having the HR director tell us that they were not intending in paying any of our sick days or personal days was a slap in the face and a massive dick move. I had intended to work till Saturday, which was my last scheduled day. Since they were not paying my sick days, I just called off my last 3 days so I can at least get 3 sick days paid. Hyatt's saying is we care for people so they can be their best. They really showed their true colors, and I would never work for Hyatt or stay in any of their property for as long as I live. Edit. Didn't expect this to blow up. Just a few things to mention. I'm not trying to cause a riot of any sort. I'm getting paid my accrued vacation only. As some have mentioned, NY doesn't require for sick days to be paid, so I've come to terms with that. Also, this was just my experience. I'm not discouraging the use of Hyatt. Don't let this post be the make it or break it on whether or not you stay at Hyatt. This was just me venting. For the people that have PM me asking if I'm okay, thanks. But I will be alright. Good night everyone. I haven't lost my job. But my small software company instituted 30% pay cut across the board. They say it'll be re-evaluated every month. Clients keep canceling or postponing projects. So I'm good this month. But could easily lose it next month. I'm just happy they decided to cut pay instead of fire 30% of the workforce. So everyone can keep their health coverage. That, and I'm not sure I wouldn't have been part of that 30%. My job as a barista was shut down for safety and because nobody is coming in. Anyway. And my summer job, teaching kids how to swim at a sleepaway camp, is cancelled because the camp decided not to open. While I'm not in danger of losing my house or starving, I am now unable to afford to continue going to college next semester. Edit. Somebody gave me gold. I don't actually know what that means since I'm new to Reddit. But I hope whoever gave it, and the rest of y'all, are safe and healthy. I'm a nurse. Had a kidney transplant 7 months ago. Returned to work 4 months ago. Left work on Monday and haven't been back since. A paycheck isn't worth risking my best friend's gift. Edit. My first gold? For staying home from work. Lol, thank you kind neighbor and friends. Anyone else please donate instead. My wife, the real bad-ass nurse BC, she is currently working the land unit. And I love donating to animal charities, and we do medical mission trips in Peru with the dream team at Support Our Smiles link. Remember, it's always darkest before the dawn. We're going to overcome this and be stronger for it. Edit 2. Worth mentioning, I haven't lost my job. Nurses and staff went to work for 3 days this week to clean, and now non-elective surgeries have been cancelled. We'll see what happens. It's a surgery center, and my bosses and the board, all doctors, have been beyond supportive throughout my transplant and now this pandemic. The blessing of having so many incredible people in my life has me in a never-ending state of gratitude and free from fear of the unknown. Reach out if you think I can help you, smiley face. My husband got laid off on Tuesday. He works about 3 minutes down the road from my work. He showed up at my work with tears in his eyes, apologizing to me for not doing good enough to be kept. He works at a car dealership as an auto technician, where they let go of 4 techs that day cause of decreasing business. They're letting go of more people this Saturday. My brother is a mechanic there, and is scared to lose his job too. They told my husband that when business picks back up, they might call and ask him to come work for them again. Thankfully, I work in the lab of a hospital, so my job is pretty secure. I keep telling my husband that we'll get through it, but I know it's taking a toll on him. I'm a housekeeper at a hotel. Last week they cut our hours from 40 to 32. I was just informed that tomorrow they are shutting down the hotel. Front desk, sales team, and bartenders are being laid off for the time being. Housekeeping will now work 24 hours a week for 2 weeks to deep clean the hotel. But who knows after that? I just finished my training as a flight attendant for a major European airline. It's been a dream of mine, and I have been putting my love and energy into this training for the past months. I'm in Cancun right now, and it's bittersweet because it's absolutely beautiful here. But at the same time, this was my last training flight. I'm now a fully trained flight attendant, and yet no one knows when me and my other new colleagues will actually be getting our work contract, since the airline industry is suffering a lot right now. I think I will cry when landing back in Frankfurt tonight, because I don't know when will be my next flight. But I will put on a brave face and genuine smile for our passengers. At least I will do my best. Last hired, first fired. The owner loves me, but she couldn't keep us all on, so it was only fair. My side gig is dog walking, which is fucking slow BC. No one's leaving their houses these days. God bless the biddy whose dogs I walk every day. I was a bartender. The bars and restaurants were shut down. I was actually relieved because, not gonna lie, I was afraid of dealing with so many people and all the glasses. People would have just kept coming too if the state hadn't shut us down. My girlfriend works for Marriott and basically lost her job. They told her they'll call her when they need the staff again. She tried to apply for unemployment and was denied because Marriott has her as an employee who works 0 hours. So for the time being, I'm taking over her financial responsibilities. I have just read that 18% of US workers have lost jobs or hours. Manager at a movie theater. I already saw it coming, so it wasn't that shocking to hear. We were only seeing about 200 people a weekday, down from our average of 900. Got called in by the GM and we were told that we were closing indefinitely. It's looking like 6 to 12 weeks. I'm fortunate enough to have enough money saved that it isn't really an issue for me, but it really upset me knowing that a lot of the people who work in the building have no other source of income and scrape by with their paychecks. Fingers crossed it's 6 weeks. Maybe less. Classical musician here. Every orchestra had to cancel concerts for the next 8 weeks. Unsure if any of the concerts will be rescheduled. Many orchestras are waiting to see if the "act of God" clause will be applied. If that is the case, musicians will not be paid. Most summer orchestras are still programmed, but there is high chance will be shut down as well. Edit. In the US. My mom works in vacation rentals doing housekeeping. She's 61, diabetic and has COPD, and lives in a state that has mandatory shutdown of all non-essential businesses. When she was informed they'd be laying people off, but also staying open, she told them she's afraid of getting coronavirus, and they laid her off so she could collect unemployment and continue to pay her bills while staying home safe. Wife and I both work in the restaurant industry. Both laid off unpaid indefinitely. She's a type 1, insulin-dependent, diabetic. And we've got 2 young kids. We have no idea what we are going to do. Insulin and supplies were already killing us. The thought of not being able to get her insulin is horrifying. Edit. Thank you so much for the kind words and advice. We are applying for Medicaid and SNAP tomorrow, and I'll be looking into what the insulin and pump supply manufacturers can do to help. We expected to go to work the last couple days. They decided to close the doors. And I can't blame them. It just sucks. It just sucks that I can't even go out to find a job. A couple of incredible Redditors are going to Venmo us a few bucks to get by, and we are beyond thankful. Stay safe. Wash your hands. Stay home if you can. F&B manager at a large hotel. GM and HR gave me a list of employees to call and inform them that they would all be furloughed. It was the hardest thing I've had to do in my life. I had to stop halfway through the list just to sit in my office and cry. I had to encourage grown men and women that everything would work out and be okay when I had no idea myself if or when it would be. I went to work this morning. Worked my normal 10 hours. Then I was laid off at the end of the day. I cried again on the way home. Didn't lose my job. But I was in the middle of searching for a new one. Obviously now it's getting next to impossible to find a job. And I'm not eligible for I was supposed to see my doctor yesterday, hoping to be cleared to go back to work. I had rotator cuff surgery 2 months ago. Appointment was cancelled, so I can't go back without the paperwork. Super sucks cuz I have $100 to my name. Didn't lose my job because of this. But I've been between jobs for a good few months before this. It's been a terrible experience trying to get interviews or processes to move forward because of everything going on. Makes me worried about how much longer it'll be. I was a server looking for a new job before this all began. I got a job secured at the zoo, an amazing dream job for me and my personality. But the day before I started at the zoo, they shut it down for the coronavirus fears. Then they shut down my serving job too. This thread is painting a bleak AF picture. I had been unemployed for over 2 months, with countless applications and rejections. I finally landed a job at a record storing facility. Good hours. Good pay. Technically it was a casual job, but it was essentially full-time. There was work for me for over a year. The company whose records I was to be taking care of canceled the job, and I was back out of work after 5.5 days. My last day at my old job was Thursday, started a new job Friday. All my old friends and coworkers are laid off Sunday. And I have this guilt I can't shake. I actually gained a job out of this. My local Walmart had a lot of people quit because of the sudden high demand for everything. I've always read 40% of Americans or something are one paycheck away from poverty. But fuck KK. This virus is really putting that into perspective. Stay strong and safe out there. Wife and I both work at major casinos on the Las Vegas Strip. Both of us are out of work. All casinos in Las Vegas are closed. Only security and a few other key positions are still employed. Casinos are the largest employers in the state of Nevada. I'm sure this is going to devastate the local economy. I got laid off today. I worked in art studio. There were only a few of us and my boss owns the business. As it's a small business, she just couldn't afford to keep me employed anymore. Business just stopped. Normally we would have 10+ orders a day. Today we had 1. It sucks, but I understand completely, and she is the nicest boss. I live in the UK. And although the government are promising loans for small businesses, it's not helping, realistic. By that I mean the help is going to come too late. I really hope her business manages to get through the next few months. It's going to be a difficult few months for a lot of us. I'm lucky I've got some savings and still live at home, so it could be so much worse. I am fucked. I'm American, but live in Italy. Northern Italy. Specifically. Worked for the last 5 years for a tech startup that is heavily dependent on renting apartments and people traveling abroad in Europe for revenue. Though my job in the company was totally back-end. I was part of the first wave of employees. And really liked my job. We were funded mostly by Silicon Valley investors. The company had already decided our jobs were to be automated slowly and painfully. And I was already starting to look for a new job. But the process just got sped up due to the crisis, and we all got the red slip on Monday. My husband is a taxi driver. And he hasn't worked in almost 3 weeks. We don't know when he'll be able to work again. I don't know when I'll even be able to get another job interview. We have a 3-month emergency fund that I've built up thankfully, and no CC debt. But I'm terrified for the future. We're both in our 30s. And got fucked in 2008 when we graduated into that recession. Now? I'm worried I'll never own a home and never have kids. I don't know how any of that will be possible. I feel hopeless. I'm going to fight my way out of this whichever way I can. But I'm honestly feeling defeated. And I'm scared we're going to get sick eventually. Or one of our family members here in Italy will get sick. Or one of my family members in the US will get sick. And I'll be unable to fly back to be there. We had an increase of around 4,450 cases and 427 more deaths in Italy today. I feel like a real asshole for even worrying about my finances in the face of this tragedy here. But I'm terrified for what's next selfishly. And I have no idea how I'm going to pay for my student loan going forward. It's literally strangling me. Just fuck. Guys, if you got laid off this week, I'm with you. I literally just feel like giving up. Thanks for reading this if you did. I needed to vent. Stay good guys. And stay healthy. From us in Italy to wherever you are in the world. Edit. There are so many comments in this thread that I'm getting even more nervous now. I'm devastated to see how many other people are where I'm at. E2. It may be hard times. But at least they're gilded hard times. Thanks for my first gold. And thanks to everyone who reached out with some kind words. You guys are the best. Thank you for watching. If you enjoyed this video, don't forget to drop a like. If you would like to see more content like this in the future, subscribe and turn on notifications to be notified about future videos. Now check out one of these interesting videos.